And today we're going to talk about holistic wellness on our spiritual level. So, when thinking about holistic wellness for addiction recovery, we have to consider the entire person. So, transformation happens on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual levels. And today we're going to look at the spiritual level. So, if you've stuck with me this far, this is the last video in this series, and we've looked at ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally, and seeing how all those different pieces align, seeing where we're at each day, because everything can change, doesn't stay the same, unfortunately. And then we can begin to look at ourselves from a spiritual level. So if physically, I'm feeling good, I'm rested, I'm eating well, I'm exercising, I'm not using, I'm generally in a good space with that, I'm pretty healthy, doing what I need to do, maybe with doctors and things, great. From a mental level, I'm checking in on my mental health all the time, every day. Maybe I'm getting professional help if I need it. I'm changing things in my life to help me mentally. Maybe I'm doing little brain games here and there, something like that. And then and then the emotional level, my emotions are pretty regulated. I'm not one extreme or the other. I'm not super depressed. I'm not super anxious. I'm not super sad, super happy, super angry. I'm just it's all kind of in the middle as best I can, right? Because things do happen. And again, looking at it from a mental and a physical aspect as well. Are my emotions a little out of control? Maybe there's some medical intervention or some other help that I need with that. And then looking at my environment, people around me, situations, work, home, whatever it is, and seeing how I'm looking there and how it's affecting me emotionally. And am I able to name things and look at things and see them and then do what I need to do in order to keep myself in a balance with all of these things. So then I get to my spiritual level. How is your spiritual life? All right, so take a moment and answer that question. How are you feeling spiritually right now? And if you've been following along with the other videos, feel free to take out your journal here, a piece of paper, just write down where you're at today. And there's always no judgment. It is what it is. Here we are, present with ourselves. We're just trying to identify this stuff. So where are we at spiritually today? All right, and hopefully you have a little bit there, something there, and just looking at that. Where are we at? So I have another video about spirituality. Go ahead and check that out if you like. But checking in, where are you connecting with spirit? What's your definition of spirit? What's cool about 12-step and some other recovery programs is it's whatever you feel connected to. It's a power greater than you. Do you have a power greater than you? Do you know how to connect with that power? And we're also where you're at in your recovery journey. So if I'm actively using, I'm most likely not very spiritually connected. The substance cuts us off from that sunlight of the spirit. So there's a disconnect there if I'm still using. And once I put the substance down and I start to separate from a little bit, start to get a little bit of time clean, maybe I'm able to start thinking about spirituality again and thinking about what am I going to connect to? What is it that's going to help me every day? For me personally, it was the rooms. It was a group of people doing what I wanted to do, which was not use anymore, and they could do it, and they have something helping them. Maybe that's something that could help me too. And over time, as we separate more from the substance, get some more sobriety in our lives, exploring all these various forms of spirituality. I mean, the world has a vast wealth of knowledge and spiritual teachings, various religions, all kinds of, there's so much to explore, so much to look at to see what works for you. And that's the key part there, what works for you. So finding something to connect with. and then connecting with it all the time. It's a all the time, every day, every second, I'm connecting. And personally, I have to, because if I'm not, then those other levels that I talked about, the physical, mental, emotional, those are all going to start to go, because my spirituality is what keeps me connected with that great divine, that bigger than me, that purpose that I have. And as I'm connecting with that, it helps all those other levels. Because for me personally, if I'm connecting, I'm not going to go eat junk food. It just doesn't work, because I know that junk food's going to affect me mentally, emotionally, and then I'm not going to want to pray. I'm not going to want to do my spiritual practices. I'm not going to want to connect, and I'm not going to want to help other people. Helping other people is a spiritual practice to me. It helps keep me focused on what's going on in people's lives, and also how different things in the world are affecting them, and how all these things happen. And then I look at it and I go, oh man, there's so much spirit here. There's so much presence helping people. There really is. And I feel it in others when I'm interacting and I'm helping them. I feel spirit in other people. And that's how I connect with spirit as well, because I always feel like, too, I feel like I need to hear something, and then somebody says it and I go, okay, all right, how can that be a coincidence? I don't know. So all those kind of things start to happen, and you can start to notice these things. And a journaling practice is great, because you can start to notice it, jot it down, kind of see maybe there's some patterns there. Maybe you see certain days things are working better than others. And what's also great about spirituality is that something isn't working, there's so much else out there. Like I said, you can focus on so many different things and look at so many different things and try so many different things. And it's this level in particular that I really love to help people with, because spirituality is also something that keeps me from using, keeps me in recovery, and keeps me alive each day. If I didn't have my spiritual practices and my spirituality, I wouldn't be in front of you making this video right now. I could tell you that for sure. I'd be a much different person in a much different place, and not a place I'd want to be. Definitely not a place I'd want to be. So, also great things about spirituality is you can find other people that maybe practice or see things the way you do. You can have a little bit of community in that regard. It does help a lot when there's others supporting us in this way. But ultimately, it just comes down to really what works for you, really what you're connecting with personally, and then developing your practice. So for me, my practice is journaling. There's a lot of prayer. There's a lot of supplication, if you will, if you want to use that terminology. Just it's like I'm having kind of like a mental conversation all the time. What do I do now? What do I say? Oh no, I don't know how to handle this. Like, help me, please. I don't want to mess this up. I want to get out of my own way and do my higher power's will for me. And trying to find your higher power's will for you is also really difficult if you're not healthy physically, mentally, or emotionally. It's all kind of falls apart if we don't have those other pieces. So when we have these four levels in a really good place, and we can connect with something greater than us and find out our higher powers are will for us, and then start to carry that out and really start to dive into what our purpose is. Because I believe every being has a purpose, and they have a certain reason they're here and things they need to do. And if you believe in karma and past lives and stuff like that, which that's a whole nother thing you could explore as well. I mean, there is a lot going on with us spiritually, and there's a lot of things that can really, really help and can really do nothing but enhance your life. And when we have all these levels, we have some wellness in our life, and we have balance, which is just, I mean, and that's where it's at, right? Oh, so amazing. So, anyway, thank you so much. And I love to help people, especially with the spiritual level. So, feel free to reach out to me on my website, thepeacewecrave.com. Book a call with me. I look forward to connecting with you. And thank you so much and take care.